Hi, I'm Mary Jane Brixa from Lioness Publications, and what I want to do today is do an update on the volcano in Alaska. Now, I do want to mention I'm wearing a mask because I'm having quite a bit of difficulty with the allergies, and this is helping me to stop from coughing and sneezing. So I do apologize for that. I will try and talk as clearly as possible so that you can understand. So first, I had created a previous video on the Alaska volcano, and I had said that biggest chance for eruption is going to be from 4/1 to about 5/15, plus or minus a week or so. So I just wanted to do a quick little piece before we move into, and we're actually in that period right now, and look at what's going on from an astrological point of view. Before I had specifically used the risk yield chart to show you where I thought it was, if it was going to happen, when it would happen. Now, the astrological chart I'm using is actually for Alaska. So anything that happens in Alaska would affect the state. So in effect, I should be able to see something in the astrological chart. So first, let's take a look at what's sort of going on right now. And specifically, I want to go to 324. And at that time, March 24th, a few days ago, we had Neptune here making a connection to Saturn. And that was a square. And what happens is a square is a stressful angle. So it's not easy. Now, Neptune is flow, Saturn is restriction. So in this case, the flow could be liquid, could be air, could be gas. So in this case, what you're going to see is that you're going to have plumes or things escaping. So in this case, we're getting a lot of steam vents. That's coming up. So that's one of the things that has happened. And this is what it's showing that it was a possibility. The next thing we see is Uranus, and this is on 325 a few days ago. And again, these dates are really plus or minus about a week or two, but they're actually coming in pretty tight. So Uranus opposing Jupiter here. And in this case, Uranus is a planet of change, movement. Jupiter is going to be excesses. So in this case, when we're looking at something like a volcano or possibly earthquake, this is going to tell me we're probably having tremors. And that is actually what has been happening. There have been increased tremors since a few days. It's been ongoing, but they're getting worse. In fact, they're thinking that an eruption might be imminent. Next thing we have is Saturn making a trine to Jupiter here. So in effect, we have Saturn here and Jupiter. That's going to happen in about 2 or 3 days on the 31st of March. Now, in this case, Saturn is restriction, Jupiter is excess. Now, it's a trine, which is a good angle. It's an easy one, which means that, yeah, we've got restriction and we've got excess. Excess could be liquid, could be gas. But that means that I'm not expecting a violent type of reaction here. I am expecting some ability for whatever is there to escape. So that's actually sort of positive. In fact, yeah, there might be sort of like mini lava flows or more vents opening up, but it's actually saying that is decreasing the chance of a major event. Next thing we have that sort of goes along with that is we have Uranus making a connection to Venus. And that's going to happen approximately 4/14. Now, Uranus, again, planet of change, movement. Venus could be social, the people. But it's a trine angle, which is an easy one, which means there may have to be some changes in routines, but not necessarily something that is drastic. So it could be people might have to stay indoors, but not to the point that I would expect it to be dangerous at that time. Again, we'll come back and look at that again because, I hate to say something is not dangerous. In this case, it is a change, but something that could be manageable. Next thing we see is around 427. got two angles happening. Now, first, we've got Jupiter over here opposing Mercury. Excess and Mercury is movement. So in this case, I would expect a lot more tremors. Now, that's on the transit side. On the progression, we actually have Venus, which is going to be making, and I don't have that chart for this, Venus, which is going to be making a conjunction to the South Node, which means that in that case, social would have to give out. So in effect, relations, the society, there's going to be some issue at that point. And that's approximately the end of end of April. Now, next one we have here is Saturn is going to be making a square or a stressful angle to its Saturn. Now, this one is going to be a little bit of a tough one. That's happening on 5/22 of next month, which of May. Now, that's a little bit out of the 5/15, but again, week or two on these dates that I'm giving. Now, this Saturn in square angle to Saturn, Saturn is restrictions, meaning restrictions are fighting against restrictions. So what you have is some type of movement that can't move. So I would expect if there's going to be any type of release, it will probably be closer to that 5/22 period. But some of the other things are not suggesting that this is going to be, like a horrible volcano. It's more saying it would be a release. Now, I do want to note, we had one other angle here, which is this Pluto making an angle to Pluto, the natal one. Now, this is a difficult angle. It's called an inconjunct. And it's what I call a break and release, a break and adjust. Now, this would hit the foundation. And if this was happening at the same time as the Saturn square Saturn, I would say, whoa, that's going to be a tough one. But what happens is that Pluto actually starts going backwards. This one, the transiting one. So it never quite hits the natal one. But, there's always a but, it's going to hit it next year. And that will be approximately 2/11/2026. Now, at that time, there could be, so this might be the first incident with this volcano. It is likely to come back next year in some form. It will depend on the other angles that are occurring. So we'll actually come back again at the beginning of June, see what happened with this, but we'll come back probably around December because we're going to need to look at what's going to happen with this next year. Otherwise, thank you for watching the video. I do appreciate it. And you can always look at my website, lionesspublications.com. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye now.